The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and happy Monday, everybody out there in Lunchbox land. Hope we're coming to you in living color with good, clean sound because you never know on a Monday when the cobwebs are still being shaken off. Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. I had a huge night at the Academy Awards last night. They made a film about my life, not the whale, but they described basically it was a film about my dietary habits. It's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Which is pretty much what you've been practicing, Mike Mayo. That was your line of the morning, man. I mean, of all the stuff we saw in the chat line this morning when we were doing the show, that was the classic. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Did you even know that was a movie? I had no idea what it was until like yesterday morning. I was reading a preview predicting the Oscars and the outcome, and said that they had been nominated for like 11 awards and won 7. I couldn't have told you what that was. I didn't know it was even a movie.
Because I do have a little bit of cultural awareness, I was vaguely familiar that this movie was getting all the Oscar buzz and was the critical darling. I've never actually seen it. I've never seen it in a movie theater.
Nope.
I did make a point to go see Brendan Fraser in The Whale because I heard such good things. And that, I mean, it was a emotional, raw, devastating, and somewhat disturbing movie, and it also hit very close to home for me because it's about a guy basically eats himself to death.
Yeah.
And the way
they made a nice transformation of that guy. He looked nothing like the guy body-wise. Anyway, that was in the picture.
It was a tremendous acting performance, although I was really
he got Best Actor, the guy. He ended up winning.
Brendan Fraser, well deserved.
Brendan Fraser won Best Actor. Good for him.
Yes, yeah. You didn't stay up for that?
No, I didn't watch the Oscars.
I actually...
I don't.
You watched the whole show, Mike Mayo? I was flipping back and forth between that and the Knicks and the Lakers.
Here's how my night went. I started at the Mardi Gras Big Easy Casino in Hallandale Beach.
What a surprise.
Playing a little poker tournament with my friend, and got knocked out of there about 9:30 before any money. Went home. I had the foresight to tape and DVR the Oscars, so I was able to kind of, this is the best way. I started about like at, watching it about 10 o'clock. I watched the monologue from Jimmy Kimmel.
How was that? How would you rate Kimmel?
It's very tepid. It was a very, very tame show. Last week, I think Sarni or somebody told me that the over-under on the Cocaine Bear references was 1.5. They easily
they had a whole skit on that. So
they had a whole skit on it, and several people mentioned Cocaine Bear. So that was an easy one. It hit the over. But after all the mishigas of last year, they kind of really tamped things down. Steven Spielberg was the butt of some very tame and tepid jokes from Jimmy Kimmel. So it was kind of a boring thing. It's gone back to like they included all the technical categories, the cinematography. Well, the cinematography and film editing are big, but all the costume design, things that they kind of shoved out last year to try to speed the broadcast along. I guess there was a rebellion among all the artists in Hollywood. They want their moment in the sun, even though nobody's watching anymore. But I caught up, and and then I watched the big 3 at the end, and it was pretty much the way everybody expected. This Michelle Yeoh, who first Asian woman to win an Oscar. She started her career in Hong Kong films and is in this everything. I got to see this movie now because
what movie is this? I had never heard of it until Defo this morning.
It's supposedly one of these beautiful tapestry mosaics about the metaverse, whatever the metaverse is. Yeah, all right. It's a little above our heads. So
I'm just worried about the next race at Parks, which is coming up in 37 minutes. And you're talking about the metaverse?
I'm worried about my metabolic syndrome. That's what I'm worried about. Because, I'm a little. All right. So, like, I came up with this list of all the places that I went to eat.
You were on a binge, man. Unbelievable.
I guess this happens from time to time where I just go around and hit places because I have to set things up for the Lunchbox shows with Visit Lauderdale, Nikki Mohan. Tomorrow, I'm very excited. So, here was my Friday, okay? Just to give you an example. And I did hit a total of 13 different establishments and restaurants
over
last
the weekend?
Week. No, no,
last
this
week.
was over from the previous week, from Sunday through Sunday. I hit 13 establishments in 8 cities. And, like, on Friday, for example, went from the Gulfstream show where we have to do our, contest giveaway runoff today. But basically, I was there. I was really pleasantly surprised. I love pasta. I love Italian food. Joe Beja, the director of food and beverage at Gulfstream, he's Italian, and I didn't realize that they are doing some of these, just nice, comforting pasta dishes up at the Ten Palms restaurant there during the racing days. And he brought us down. What was that? A carbonara? Was it a fettuccine carbonara, or was it a Alfredo or
Standard fettuccine Alfredo,
Alfredo?
and rigatoni. It's usually penne
Alla
alla
vodka. Yeah, it
rigatoni.
was rigatoni alla vodka, which was delicious, and then
Meatballs.
it seemed more like a linguine than a fettuccine Alfredo, but it was good and creamy, and then we had some meatballs that were delicious with the cottage cheese. So I went from there. Then I had to go to this El Guanaco restaurant up in Oakland Park. Have you ever heard of it or been there, Defo?
I have not. No. But
You like Mexican
I
food,
understand
right?
it's excellent. Yeah, I do. I'm a big Mexican food fan.
So this place is interesting. We're going to be there tomorrow with Neki Mohan. It's on Prospect Road there in Oakland Park. It's 2 women, and we're going out there because we're celebrating International Women's Month and Women's History Month. And one of them, Christina, is from El Salvador originally. The other one, Rudy, is from Mexico. The 2 of them got together about, I think it was 11 or 12 years ago, and they started this restaurant. It's part Mexican menu, part El Salvadoran cuisine with the pupusas. Absolutely terrific, long, very varied, and very intriguing menu. And you could tell the minute you walk in, it's one of those really cute places, and they care about quality. I sampled a couple of things there, including this.
So you ate there too, right
Yeah,
after the pasta
yeah. I went.
festivities at Gulfstream.
It's called the Bang Bang, and I went in there. I wanted to just try a little pupusa. It's like getting one little taco, like a
Yeah, it's not
pupusa with little cheese. It's kind of like a doughy thing that's like I don't know how you would describe it. It's like a hot pocket of,
All right.
almost like a stuffed pita type. It's not a knish, but it's kind of like dough that they fill with some cheese. The one I had was shrimp and a little jalapenos. They go for like 350 to 450. It was delicious. Then I met Christina, the owner. She insisted on, I saw this, they do these daily soup specials, and the weekend special is like it's like a beef short rib soup with vegetables.
Oh
She
wow.
brought that out, has a little side dish of rice and all these really good kind of, the kind of Central American veggies, some of the squash things and calabasas or whatever you call it. But it was like a really good beef consomme. So I had that. Okay. So it was a bang bang. And then you know what happened? I don't know. I guess the metabolic syndrome is kicking in. It's just like I ended up stopping off at Pizza Spot on the way home,
Oh my
and
God!
I
This
picked
was
up.
all still before darkness.
Yeah, it's a
And this
bang
was
bang
still
bang.
during daylight savings, where we had a short sunset there.
It was
Wow!
crazy. I don't know. I
Did you
need
get a
some
whole
sort of.
pizza there? I mean, was that
I
the
got
picture
a
you posted?
small, what they call what Wade and Reese are back. They had their little break. Reese went away, but he calls it
Don't
the.
say you went away in our vernacular. That
No,
means
no,
he's
I was
doing
gonna
time.
say
Yeah,
Tifo's gonna
yeah,
start going. What do you do?
no.
yeah.
Reese went back to Connecticut to attend to some family business,
Oh, okay.
and Wade was around town where he's always fixing up the place. But they took a week off of service, but they came back last week, and I stopped in there just to say hello. And I picked up one of what they call the plain pie. It's basically a tomato sauce with a sprinkling of grated Parmesan, not the heavy mozzarella cheese. And he puts a little bit of garlic, some of the minced garlic on there, a little bit of crushed red pepper.
Isn't that
But it's
like the signature of that style
yes,
of pizza?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, the original famous New Haven Frank Pepe's pizza was that plain pie, what some people call tomato pie, plain pie. And that small one, it's very light, very crisp. Portnoy would just fall over himself if that was the one that he ordered there because it came out so like, no flop, completely stiff, like a cracker thin, and really satisfying. And it's $9 for that little one.
Wow.
And I just kind of
Nine
had,
bucks for a pizza? That's
yeah,
amazing.
for a small, the one that I pictured was a small tomato plain pie for
Right?
$9, And I consider that my dessert. I had a little snack, and next thing I know, like 4 of those slices are gone after my 2 meals.
Oh my god, man.
Bonnie
What would
weighs in
you
on the chat line saying that buttons were popping on the ride up to Tom Tannazini's big
Yeah, and
celebration
then on
there, Hillsborough.
I don't know if I need help. Is there, there's 1888 admit it. What is
Joe
it for
Casal says
compulsive
that we need
eaters?
to kind of orchestrate with Lubie and some others, maybe an intervention. Even the X might be included in this, and haul you off to like the Duke University. They still do that thing that Hank was always attending.
Yeah, the rice where you have
Yeah,
the
where
rice
you go on
diet.
like a Aaron Rodgers retreat and you eat rice balls for like 6 weeks, and then you come
Not
back
rice
like
balls, just
yeah,
plain like rice,
rice
like
balls.
brown rice, and it makes you feel like you're in prison or something.
Yeah.
That you have gone away, and yeah, you get so sick of the brown rice.
It's
after a
right
while.
out of Gulag Archipelago. Yeah, I mean,
I think
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just think Andy makes a good point. Is that I think not drinking is really I didn't think it was going to lead to increased eating.
Oh, it's like
but I'm
quitting
so
smoking
bored.
for you. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. You've gone full bore on the eating, and it's freaking me out. Yeah, I was like, I'd rather you drink. You didn't drink that much. Like,
No, and I'm
His
not
house
thinking,
and an intervention though might be the next move.
again,
That's your good buddy, man. I mean, I love the guy too, but
my problem is selfishly, we need him to eat here. Like
yeah.
Shirley's doing it now where she's changed her eating habits. And I'm like, can't you just, I can't. Because if I do it here, then it's there. And so uniformly, my life's hell now because I haven't eaten a meal with my wife in 2 weeks. So that's the problem.
Wait, why?
I haven't
you
either.
I don't know. I'm not giving away her private opinions. Yeah.
Wait. Is she intermittent fasting?
No, it's not even that. She's eating, but she's eating like a special diet.
Oh, is she going macrobiotic or
no,
some
she
sort
started
of like
with a cleanse that was 5 days. I didn't realize a cleanse could be 5 days. Now she's doing some company with and it's fine. She can do what she wants. But I'm not doing that. So I'm not eating with her, which is again fine. But for our purposes, we need to eat with you at least from 12 to 1 every day.
Right.
So selfishly, I wouldn't be at that intervention because I'd be a hypocrite because then at least 3 days a week, we're doing these remotes where Mike Mayo has to eat food that I'm sure would not be on this diet.
Right.
It's, so you're out.
Yeah, I can't be there. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about Mayo than I am about the money we're making on the show.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure the kid's okay.
Well, I did my walk this morning. I did my walk on Saturday. So, I think as long as you get a little bit of the exercise in.
No, but I mean, you just described 3 pretty heavy meals that in and of and by themselves would have been enough for anybody to eat that day in its entirety. And then on top of that, I mean, I can't imagine that you left Tom Tannazini because by the time Lubie got there, like an hour later, he was sold out of food, even though he was planning on being there for 10 hours.
Yeah, so let's describe. I wanted to, because I did go up there with my friend Bonnie, a former Sun Sentinel sports department colleague.
Very delightful person.
She's
like the happiest person I've ever met.
We love Bonnie. She was basically the show MASH. She was the Radar O'Reilly of the Sun Sentinel sports department, the one who really ran the show. Fred Turner. He was a great sports editor. He had a great eye for talent, but basically he would go off on like 40 smoke breaks a day and nobody could ever find him. Wow. So like Bonnie was the one who made the trains run on time and would do everything that needed to be done. But anyway, it was great to be able to go up to, Tom T, he's been based mainly out of these breweries up in the Boynton Beach area, the Nobo Brewing and the Copper Point Brewing, and he does some of his crawfish boils this time of year up there. And I've been to a couple of them up there, and they get an okay turnout, a steady stream. And he usually, sets up shop at 12, gets the crawfish going by 12:30. And then, sometimes people are streaming. He's there till 8 o'clock, and he gets stuck with some leftover crawfish. And then he you don't ever want to have an excess of that. And but he likes to get
those look like lobsters though.
These are big. Wow. He calls them fatties. They're big, thick ones.
Those are giant.
He likes to come down to Broward once a month because he knows he has a big following with us and the Let's Eat group, which it's spread across the whole region, but most of the people I think are in Broward. So he had been at this place, VFW Hall. In Fort Lauderdale on State Road 84. For one reason or another, the truck that he was using is no longer there. So he can't use that one. He went to this new spot called Anchors Away Dive Bar. Now, what do you think of a place that actually puts the words dive bar into the name?
Well, there was a famous spot. It's been closed for some time, right around 33rd Street. I guess it's a block up, called the Dive Bar.
Right.
And that was, a common destination for a lot of people. They thought, like the Elbow Room, that they had to also visit the Dive Bar. Unfortunately, I guess that dried up, and not enough people did because it's been closed for some time.
It's
But
so
yeah,
fancy
I mean, with the
pants.
words Dive Bar, I would be encouraged to go there. I immediately would be attracted to the place. Yeah.
Well,
But, okay, this is a place that's on the down, low key, and that's my kind of joint.
So I walked in immediately. I felt right at home. I love dive bars,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't drinking. Although Bonnie can attest, I kind of cheated a little bit. I with the crawfish, I had to have, and it's not even drinking; it's water, like you say. What's your beverage of choice?
Budweiser.
Budweiser, yeah. I do have to stick in a compliment here for that Copper Point Brewery, which you confiscated or you snorted a 6-pack of beer for me. And I was out of my Budweisers, came back from my walk of life. I guess it was 2 days ago, and I downed the last of them. I had been sipping them here and there. That guy brews an excellent beer, and it's testament to the talent that must be out there, because all of these guys we've talked to are highly scientific in their approach. All of these breweries, and there are a lot of them. And man, I have to say that they do a great job. That Copper Point beer was excellent.
I'm glad we'll have to get you another 6-pack at some point. I think he said they do sell them at some of the liquor stores or supermarkets, and maybe Total Wine. We'll look for them for you. But I know that you're a basic Bud guy mostly.
I just like it because of the clean, no aftertaste. I mean, I really only drink beer after doing some form of exercise, either tennis or the walk of life. I'm not really a big beer drinker at any other time. So I just like the whole cleanliness of it, the clean taste, and there's no aftertaste, and you feel like you drank a water that gave you a little bit of a buzz, which is fantastic.
Well, Tom T chimes in. He says he is boiling some crawdads at Copper Point this Saturday. So if you want to take a road trip, Defo, you could get more of the
kill two birds with one stone. Yeah,
that would be a good thing. So, all right. So the Anchors Away Dive Bar. It's off the beaten path a little bit. It's like a little bit north of Hillsborough and a little bit west of Federal Highway in Deerfield Beach. It's this little corner of town that looks like it's being gentrified. It's kind of near. There's the overpass of Dixie Highway that goes right from Hillsborough into Boca. But if you go some side streets and your GPS takes you right there. And it was a great setup because they had this like backyard area with tables where Heather and the boiling crew were boiling the crawdads. Then Tom T was inside the dive bar itself. They have a kitchen area, and he was set up selling some of his other menu items. He had some po' boys going, like a roast beef with the debris that my friend had.
Debris, that's what it was.
Debris is fantastic. My buddy Mike Stocker, the great photographer at the Sun Sentinel, he was able to drop by before an assignment. He got the catfish po' boy. We got some jambalaya. We got some of the gumbo. We got a whole mess of crawfish. But the thing was, I pull up there. It was like 1:00, and you would have thought it was like an LSU reunion convention that some alumni club was having some like formal gathering.
Ed Ogeron was outside selling tickets. Yeah,
I mean, there was literally like 15 people in line. Every picnic table was full. I went in the bar. There was people lined up to get the food from Tom that they were ordering from him from the kitchen. And like any first time place, it was like, you didn't know exactly where things were supposed to go or what the order was, but it was a tremendous success. Everywhere I looked, there were these purple LSU T-shirts, and I asked one of them. I said, "Is there like some sort of alumni club meeting here today?" He goes, "No, we just heard about Tom. We want crawfish." And it's like every LSU, Louisiana, Cajun swamp person came out of the woodwork in South Florida, and it was great to see because basically Heather was slammed. Tom was slammed in the kitchen, although he said he was never in the weeds. In the weeds is an expression for being like hopelessly buried. He maintained his calm. He got all the orders out, but they were sold out of crawfish, I think, by like 3:00, right? Is that right, Lubie?
He said so. We were supposed to go for lunch, the professor and I, and then I ended up getting some time with my nephews. So I was like, shoot, we're gonna miss it. And I touched base with him, I guess, Thursday, and he said he'd be there till 8. All right, cool. So Ken and I were like, all right, we'll go like around 6. I'm like, that's still 2 hours before the closing time. Even if it gets hit hard, how hard could he get hit?
Yeah, he got hit.
It's like, so we get there at 6. We walk in, and Ken's like, you're not going to be happy. I'm like, oh no, what now? He's like, the rumor is he's out of food. I'm like, oh, fun. So I go to him. He's like, look, I'm not out, but I'm out. I'm like, okay. He's like, we got the debris, which I never heard of, which was amazing. A muffaletta, which you know what he does. Yeah. I can feed 3 people. And jambalaya. So we were today, we were happy. But it was amazing to hear that by 4 o'clock, he was out of almost everything, which I thought was...
It bodes well for future visits to Anchors Away as his Broward stop, because seems like there's a big Cajun loving crowd around there. And, I would go up there in a heartbeat because it's a little bit easier for me to get up there. And my friend, the Sheik, is right around the corner in Deerfield Beach, so I could go hang out at his pool after stuffing myself. But yeah, no, it was a good job, Tom T. And look, there are other Cajun places around. We like Shuck and Dive in Fort Lauderdale. There's supposedly a new place that's going to be opening up in Fort Lauderdale, Voodoo Bayou. I don't know if you've heard any buzz about this, but we love Tom T because he you can tell the heart and soul that he pours into every dish. I mean, he had some of his lasagna out there that he gave me a little dish, and I actually gave it to Bonnie because she'd never had his crepe lasagna. That's a family recipe, and I think she loved it. Man, I just I had a couple of crawfish that I brought home, and I sucked out the heads over the weekend. Got to suck up them heads. That's the whole point of crawfish. So cheers again. Thanks, Tom T. So Defo, what did you do eating wise this weekend, or were you just gambling?
You know what? I'll pay a compliment to Rayo's pastas that they sell in the stores. Lately, the Mustang has been cooking with that. She made something like chicken meatballs with linguine the other day, and so I had some of that, and it was made with Rayo's linguine, and then she's been buying these raviolis that Rayo's makes. Nice. Fresh raviolis, and they take like 4 minutes to boil. Absolutely delicious. So you get what you pay for. I mean, it comes under that heading, but the a little bit of an upscale approach to the type of pasta we're buying. Rayo's, excellent. I would recommend that. I didn't really have any. I mean, I ate at the track there. I didn't really eat much after that on that Friday. And then Saturday, I also spent in a degenerate fashion. You'll find that surprising in a local casino, punching away, because I had a nice day on Friday. So naturally, I wanted to go and lose the money back on Saturday. Fueled by self-sabotage. But, nothing overwhelming. In fact, I don't think I dined out at all over the weekend, outside of the food that Joe Beja provided at Gulfstream Park, which was terrific. What was it, National Meatball Day or something? Did we miss this, or
last week?
Happened? Oh, okay.
Last week,
I saw a post about that on Let's Eat South Florida, and National Meatball Day, and I thought, wow, Mike Mayo's got to have like a couple of dozen meatballs.
It was at Esposito's. Ended up being meatball.
That was that day. Okay,
and of course, we didn't have any meatballs there. We just had everything else. But I always like to be.
Everything was great there.
And zig when we zag. What do you think? Should we do a first break and then pull a name out of the hat?
You got how many are in the entry here?
This is a beautiful thing. I love it. And, only 3 this week. It was an 8-to-1 shot that won the race.
You was
trained. It? No, I didn't have it, but I gave it out in a way because I was telling people that, we always, this is the lunchbox, and you should always go with the food angle. And I said the trainer of the number 2 was Carlo Valcarazza, who also was a restaurateur, who's one of his restaurants, Francandino's, was actually the a winning contest clue earlier this year when we started doing this. Carlo was the trainer of the number 2 horse, Little Jewel. It was a field of 10. And only 3 out of 60-something entrants had the number 2 horse. So I love it.
The restaurant was pretty easy, right? I would imagine everybody had a restaurant.
The restaurant was the Bubble Room.
Right.
And again, that place is now shut down after extensive damage from Hurricane Ian last September, unfortunately. But they say they're rebuilding and eventually going to reopen. And right now, the Bubble Room. You said you've been there, but you thought it was on Marco.
I was there. You know what? I used to have a friend, actually. She was in horse racing for a long time as a broadcaster and worked with me with a little video company we had named Norma Lee Costello. I don't know if you were around when she used to do the race results on the radio. They actually used to, on the all-new stations, Michael, you'll find this impossible to believe, but they would dedicate a few minutes every hour to race results. And then at the end of the after the card was over, whether it was Calder, Gulfstream, or Hialeah, normally would do like 5 minutes of race results with win, place, and show prices. Can you imagine?
That's scintillating.
Having that, they don't even have like 5 minutes total for sportscast today on these sports stations, giving you results. She ended up opening up a restaurant. She married some Italian chef. They had a restaurant called El Palio to something, and were very successful with it. And yeah, she was always big on she moved to Marco Island, and she was big on hey, go to the ballroom. That was the place that
but she lived in Marco. That's about an hour south. So
yeah, it was
meet her and then take a trip up.
Yeah, so we I remember taking my son, and I had 2 stepkids at the time, and my second wife, I guess I was involved with, and we went to the bubble room, and I was not overwhelmed by the food or anything, but it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't have driven an hour out of my way from Marco to go there had I known what the quality was going to be. I would have gone somewhere else.
It's not a place that's known for its food. It's known for its desserts. It's known for the pies and the cakes and the orange cake.
And the decor, I guess, was a big thing for some
and
reason.
The whole kitschy thing. It's like going to Jackson's. You go there for the desserts and the sundaes. Although Jackson's has pretty decent food, burgers and foot-long hot dogs, and some of their like the deli sandwiches, the pastrami sandwich is excellent there.
Oh yeah, but the ice cream there is the thing. Speaking of Jackson's, I wanted to mention this to you because I know you're not a big fan of this place. You kind of classified it under the heading of like regular schmanky Italian places. But I drove by Patrizia's last night, the one on 32nd Street, I think it is.
Yeah,
just south of 33rd. It took over the old Jackson Steakhouse.
Right, Jackson
which wasn't really there that long, but Jack Jackson, had Burt and Jackson. He opened his steakhouse. I guess that was successful. Got out of it, and they opened up Patrizia's. Michael, I wish I had been able to take a picture of it because I was driving by and it was nighttime. But mobbed. I mean, So, I mean, is there something to be said for maybe the place, it's popular for a reason?
For cheap, mediocre, big portion food? Yeah.
You still are well condemned in spite of the popularity of this place.
You know what? It's not fair of me to say mediocre. I haven't been there yet.
It must be decent. I mean, because there are dozens of Italian restaurants right in that immediate vicinity.
There's a lot of places that are very crowded. You say, it must be decent. And then you go in and try it and say,
well, Olive Garden is crowded. True.
Right. And so is Ocean's One. Remember that place is opening up everywhere. The place that has the $5.99 lunch specials and 3-for-1 drinks. Utter mediocre crap. I couldn't go there if you paid me. If I got paid to go there, if somebody paid my way,
it's not a way
if they want to come on board as sponsors of the Lunchbox, I'd be happy to go there anytime. But
I know
they don't
swear by Patrizia's though. They swear.
No, they do. And it started out in New York, and now they're branching all over down here. There's one in Deerfield Beach. There's one in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know where else. I think they're going somewhere north. But it's that kind of classic style where it's kind of big family style platters.
Okay.
Certainly nothing along the elegant lines of a Casa d'Angelo or
I wouldn't think so. No, but you're not looking for that at the price.
No, but I got to go in and try one of them. It's not.
I mean, Buca di Peppa was kind of disappointing when you actually ate the food, right?
No, we call that
the same style. Yeah.
That's the real name of it is Buca di Crap. So that's Buca di Crap.
Is that still around? I mean, it was very popular.
I think there's still one on University Drive. I used to actually go there with a crew, and it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. It
reminded me of the place. I don't know if you know this place across from Bally's in Las Vegas. It's like the oldest restaurant there, and they have these.
Oh yeah, I know that
Italian meals. It's behind that liquor store that nobody goes into because it looks very dangerous.
I forgot the name, but I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what.
And it comes with all the wine that you can drink, but the wine is poured out of a carton.
Yeah, I think that one's called Casa de Slop as opposed to Buca de Crap. But
it's a famous joint, and I have eaten there, because I've been short on capital, and you can have like a whole meal for like $8 there. It's great.
Are you down to ramen noodles? Are we gonna have to buy you like?
No, I'm good. I had a really good weekend there altogether because even though I lost money on the horses on Saturday, the Mustang plunged on some slot machine and came up with a stack of sticks. So I had back-to-back winning days, which is unusual these days.
I have a suggestion for you two, and it's not about like I know you like eating in now, so. we should go next time we go to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, Defo.
Yeah, get some stone crabs. Yeah,
use some of that capital to get some of the high quality stone crabs, or even maybe a little, some clams or some of the.
I just want to get the chicken
Maine
there. I mean,
lobster.
I was looking at how. I mean, it has to be fresher than when you get, in the frozen, supposedly fresh section of some supermarkets. And it looked great, and I couldn't believe the price. It was amazing. First thing the Mustang commented on was the price.
There's a reason why it's Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, because they started as an actual poultry farm where they would have live poultry and then rustle them up and get them ready for the Sunday dinner. There was nothing fresher than that, but they are still just one step beyond that in terms of they get really good quality products. When you step in there, you'll see. I mean, the whole display case, it'll just leave you definitely hungering for anything and everything, like me, everything everywhere all at once. That's what Delaware Chicken Farm is. They've got
it was that in a whale, man. That'd be a haunting experience watching the Oscars for you last night.
It was great. It stimulated my appetite. I'll tell you about that after the break. But Delaware, I mean, you've got the great poultry and turkey display case. They have ducks, they have chicken, they've got these fresh made sausages, they have chicken sausage, turkey sausage, or pork sausage, they got all the steaks and the beef. But of course, what most people go for is their incredible selection of fresh and mainly local Florida seafood. They have the stone crabs in all sizes. They have clams from Cedar Key. They have grouper. They have snapper from the Keys. Key West pink shrimp. Can't beat that. And they have a lot of these on the daily or weekly specials, so you get some good values on a few of the items. Everything there is quality. Everything there is worth the money. And if you ever have an issue with the quality, you go right back. You say, you know what? I didn't like this. They'll take it right back and substitute something else that will make you happy. Because that's what Doug Carter and his family, it's all about, that service, the quality, the freshness. Since 1951, family owned. They're at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from the old classic Seminole Bingo Parlor. Big chicken on the roof. You can't miss it. And we'll be there for our monthly visit a week from this Thursday. I think that's going to turn out to be the 23rd of March. And we're going to be getting ready for all the holidays, Easter, Passover, talking about what to put on the holiday table, whether it's the lamb for the Easter table or some of the brisket and things for turkeys for the Passover Seder's. Delaware Chicken Farm.
House-made gefilte fish. Don't leave that out.
House-made gefilte fish. I love it. So does Joanne.
Schmenked them in a jar with a bunch of gel all over it.
That's it. That. No, it's good. It's the good stuff. And make it fresh in-house. DelawareChicken.com. You can find out all their weekly specials and daily catch. And also, don't forget, they're open 7 days. They have curbside delivery if you want. Delaware Chicken Farm Seafood Market. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Saw a post from somebody who visited the 10 Palms for the buffet, and naturally they were felling about how wonderful it was, which it is. So we'll send somebody else in there in just a moment here with the Mike Mayo contest drawing winner in just a moment.
If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach, Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. We're back on the Lunchbox. It's a mellow Monday after a weekend, heavy duty eating, gambling, but not drinking. I'm being pretty good. I am, I guess I wouldn't say that I've completely given up alcohol, but I've cut way, way back, and many more dry days than wet days.
You weren't a big drinker, though. I mean, I don't understand it. Did we not know the other side of Mike Mayo? Was there a hidden side to you?
It was just one of those things where it was an accumulation where every day of, you go out for a lunch, and the next thing you know, you have 2 beers at lunch. Then you go have a cocktail at 5. Then you have 2 more drinks. It was like 5, 6 drinks a day. And even though it's spaced out, it's like, you just don't need to be doing that at a certain age. And I definitely feel livelier in the mornings. Just to have, now I'm starting to feel kind of the benefits. Although, we gotta see about this whole eating thing. Hey, coming back from the Tom's at Anchors Away on Saturday with Bond, we drove down Federal Highway. You know what? We passed by Defo, and I almost stopped in for a bang bang, but I did resist the urge. What's a place that you always reference on?
Oh, the Fish Shack?
No, another one. Actually, that's a good one. We didn't see that
Fish
one.
Shack has the best buffalo shrimp I've ever had.
Nice. No, when I look to my right, as I'm rolling through Pompano Beach, just above Atlantic Boulevard, I see that little shack that looks like it has wrought iron bars on it. Looks like somebody's either getting ready to pull a heist or maybe
May's Kitchen?
Yeah, May's Kitchen.
May's Kitchen doesn't look like much. The food there is decent. There's no doubt about it. And it happens to be a favorite of a lot of people. A lot of people love that joint.
It's been there how long? Do you know?
Forever. Because I've been living in Pompano Beach area, in this area here. Now I'm at Lauderdale by the Sea. But I lived there since at least 2000, where I used to go around May's Kitchen. So, yeah, over 23 years, yeah.
Yeah, this is riddle me this. Like everybody on Let's Eat is always looking for good Chinese food or authentic or New York Chinese food. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I see all these Chinese restaurants that are like little holes in the wall.
That is hole. That is a definition of hole in
But
the wall.
they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I've got one in, my neighborhood, my Hunan Wok that's been there on Dania Beach Boulevard for over 20 years. Same family owns it. They do a good job. I mean, they bang out the fried rice and the wonton soups and like, what do people want? I mean, and if they've been in business that long, that means they're not that bad, right? I mean,
You would think. I mean, it might be the only option in the area, which May's Kitchen is good. There are other Chinese restaurants. There are a couple of others in the nearby vicinity, even though the Peking Duck House has been shut down now, which I think is permanent based on the lack of activity there. But I had occasion to go to the China Wok, which I think there are a few of those. Not bad. I mean, very dedicated people, it looked like, and they're trying their best. Really good service there for the takeout. And then there's another one around the corner on McNabb. So, but May's Kitchen, I think, would be a go-to place for a lot of people if you said hole-in-the-wall Chinese.
Yeah,
No
and
doubt.
if you just want something quick and convenient and it's local, I guess that, there's a place for that in the restaurant universe. Now, there's a Chinese place that's getting a lot of buzz on the Let's Eat group. It just opened, I think, last week in Boca called Red Pine, and it's from some fancy restaurateur. You know what? It's getting positive buzz. The menu looks good. Some of the food dishes look good. It's Red Pine. I'm gonna have to get there soon, but it looks like it has prices in the same range as Rainbow Palace in Fort
Oh, yeah.
Lauderdale,
Well, that
which
better be
always
good then, yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. They brought in some fancy chef, an Asian chef who once worked at Mastro's Steakhouse in Fort Lauderdale, place I didn't love, but I don't know if that chef was there at the time I reviewed it, and I don't think he was. I think he came in after my slaughterhouse review, but this place looks promising for those who are always on the hunt for good Chinese food. So I just thought I'd mention that. And you know what?
I want to try and check out your place, Chili Crab, this week. I had promised my son and his wife that we'd go out to dinner one night, and you had recommended this place so highly, and they're fans of good Chinese food and upscale stuff, and you say it's a little bit different. So it sounded like a very interesting place. I think I'm going to try and get there later on this week.
You should. It's definitely not the usual Chinese joint. It's actually more of like a little bistro. The way it's set up, it's like kind of these kind of picnic style tables, kind of backless seats. It might not be the most comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Food is really good,
Yeah.
and it's again a two guys, one from I think they're both from Hong Kong, and the chef back there, his name is Michael, but he does all these amazing things with crab, and where you get these big elaborate seafood dishes, and they also have some good Peking duck and rice and meat dishes and things like that. So definitely check it out and get back to me. I want to hear it. All right, it's time for the hat.
Yeah, we need our winner. Come on.
Yeah,
Winner.
here's
All
a
right, here
drawing.
we go.
And then the restaurant was the Bubble Room. You want to review the clues there? Or
Yeah,
Captiva
well, again,
was
it
one?
was basically this place. It's world famous in
Don
Captiva
Ho
Island.
was another, I think.
well,
You
it's-
mentioned Don Ho.
The clues were it's always Christmas at the Bubble Room because
Yeah.
they have like this permanent kitschy holiday displays there, along with their famous desserts, including the orange crunch cake. It's the one that everybody gets. And then I said the restaurant opened in 1979. And neither Lawrence Welk nor Don Ho had anything to do with it.
The Ho reference was where I got it.
Well,
every time. Yeah.
What was Don Ho's famous song?
Tiny Bubbles.
Tiny Bubbles. What
Yeah.
was Lawrence Welk known for?
Well, he was known for the Champagne Lady, who and the bubbles, always in the air.
Bubbles in the Wine was one
Yeah.
of his theme songs.
Oh, that was a theme
Bubbles,
song?
Yeah, Bubbles in the Wine.
Didn't they have like a guy like?
And he
blowing
had
bubbles
yes,
all over
and
the
he
place?
had
Yeah.
bubbles floating all over the set. Lubie is looking with this inscrutable look like
Like
this
who
game
the
way
hell is
before-
Welk and Don Ho?
Who's
Yeah.
Lawrence Welk? And
No,
I'm glad
know
I wasn't.
most of them. I wouldn't. It didn't help me get at all. I didn't know any of that.
All right,
That,
and
that
then
was
the other-
that was a Sunday staple of the DeForest family TV viewing though back in the day. It was the Welk show.
one and the two. And
Yeah.
that's
My dad was sort of a fan, but Bobby and Sissy were a little strange. I'm not sure what their relationship actually was, and I thought the Champagne Lady was a fraud.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were obviously looking back, maybe some issues with that show that we should have entertained at the time. So you got
and
the
the
Bubble
last-
Room.
And the last note about the Bubble Room is it got major damage in Hurricane Ian last year, as of all of Sanibel and Captiva really did.
Uh-huh.
They're rebuilding the main restaurant right now. They have kind of a satellite temporary thing going out of a storefront next to a diner in Fort Myers, but they're selling all their cakes and pies and famous desserts there go on to thebubbleroom.com for all the details if you are on the West Coast, Gulf Coast, for any kind of travel. All right, and then the horse itself, the race was the Captiva Island Stakes, which is why we went to Captiva Island, and it was a 5 furlong race for older fillies on the turf, 10 horses. There were 2 heavy favorites and 1 late scratch, and basically the favorites got beat. And let this be a lesson to all you chalk eating pigs out there that the best strategy is not ending up in a hat with 25 other people. The best strategy is try to like get yourself a mid-level, this wasn't the longest of the long shots. It's an 8-1 shot, a horse that had a decent shot. And there's only 3 names in the hat, and none of them are our usual suspects. These are all.
That's not bad that there's even 3, though. I mean, think about how well this contest is.
It's
sort of come together. Pretty incredible.
I was more than 60 entries this week. Most people got the bubble room right, and here we go. So I'm going to be picking out one.
Any familiar names? Do you have a favorite that happens to be in a hat there?
No, there's no favorites. These are all.
Probably should state that before you make the drawing.
No. I have no interest in this, and I picked our winner. One. But let's see. Here we go. We're going to open up. The winner is.
Looks like you open up a fortune cookie. What do you got there?
Sharon Driggers. Sharon Driggers.
Nice.
Congratulations. You are the winner of this week's Lunchbox contest with Gulfstream at 10 Palms. You get a choice, you and a friend or a companion.
Well, and if she has no friends, then invite Lubie or me, and we'll be happy to go. Yeah.
Sharon will get 2 brunch vouchers at 10 Palms for any Sunday from now until the end of April. We had our friend Kenneth Rosenblum went yesterday. I got a very nice email from him.
He seems like a great guy. I don't know him personally, just from social media.
Very nice email saying, here, I'll just read, because can't thank you enough for the Lunchbox contest brunch. Took my daughter. We've arrived a little late. We were told service didn't begin until 11:30, so we went to the casino, put a $5 bill in the slot machine. First pull, he wins $15. Boom. Cashed in the voucher, went to 10 Palms, got a finished line table, warm welcome, no problems with the comps, extensive lavish buffet, attentive service, and icing on the petty fours. We rode a wave of early chalk to cash some decent exactas, left with much more money than when we came. Thanks again for a memorable day. Yeah. That's the kind of thing we love on the Lunchbox. And thanks to Joe Beja and all his crew. And Sharon Driggers, you are next in line to schedule your
Kenneth is an astute, or seems to be an astute horse player. He definitely is more on top of the game than I am in terms of what's coming up. And I'm sorry that you're still riding the bandwagon of that, shall we say, something that relates to pork a little bit, of that pig, Katie Kakis, that I turned you on to. You didn't have your own personal cash, because even I threw in a towel on his horse, and I was looking
at a horse at Aqueduct. Yeah,
your post on Saturday,
even money.
Sunday.
Even
money. If that horse doesn't win today, the next stop is Parks or maybe Lone Star for this horse. That unfortunately, and he broke with the field. He had no excuse. So that was unfortunate.
Texting. I'm like, why does he keep saying the words rat and pig, and pig?
Well, and then he had like a plate of bacon or something, and he was showing us that he was eating for breakfast, and I thought it was the horse.
No, that one is you circled a long time ago.
I was right about it the first time, that had trouble trip and seemed to show some promise. Unfortunately, he ran the same way the second time. And what we've discovered now, this is his 4th race already, where he's run up the track second last 2 races. That unfortunately, the horse just isn't that fast.
No, not that fast. Not that.
You can have all the trouble you want, but if you can't win the race anyway, you're not going to win, and that's the way it's gone for him.
Some very promising horses, though, that ran at Gulfstream and also Tampa Bay Downs had the Tampa Bay Derby, and Todd Pletcher, no shock, he's loaded for bear. His horse there, that was a heavy favorite.
Dead last.
Came way out of the clouds against pretty much a nothing field, but I had the trifecta that one too, so I was happy with that.
Oh, very good. All right.
And of course, last week he won the Fountain of Youth with Forte.
That horse looks like a legitimate Derby contender.
He is going to be the favorite in the Florida Derby, and who knows, by the time the Kentucky Derby rolls around, he might be the favorite there too. So that's something to look forward to at Gulfstream. Hey, one more sports note before we get back to the food. Of course, we've got March Madness starting this week. I guess they have all the play-in games coming up, but the main bracket begins Thursday. Is that correct? Do they still do it on Thursday? Yes, and we're going to be out to celebrate the start of March Madness
Oh
with our
yeah,
man Pat
shenanigans.
Utter on Shenanigans on Wednesday, not
Nice.
Thursday. Because
Wednesday.
Thursday it's going to be a little crazy in there for the tournament, and then of course Friday is the ultimate in crazy days at an Irish bar, sports bar.
God.
Shenanigans. Pat Utter comes from a big Irish family. He was out there yesterday in Hollywood. They have their big annual, St. Patty's Day parade. They had it before the celebration this year, and he's riding a float. He's giving out all the green shamrock beads. But we're gonna get together with him on Wednesday, and this whole week at Shenanigans. One location now, it's in Dania Beach, 1300 South Federal Highway. We'll be there Wednesday, but they have the corned beef. All the corned beef extravaganza all week long. He boils up, I don't know how many millions of pounds, and certainly I think like a ton. They go through almost like a 1,000 pounds of corned beef this week. And Friday they're going to have a huge celebration there for St. Patty's Day at Shenanigans, so that's good. But March Madness, I wanted to make a note quickly there, Defo. The New York Times, The Athletic, which is I guess their sports subsidiary, but they just came out with a list of the bracket breakers, the 10 most likely first round upsets, and guess who made the top 3?
Drake over Miami.
Well, number 1 was Virginia versus now they've said subscribe. I'm already a time subscriber. I should be here. Come on, what are you doing to me? But anyway, number 3 of the it was Virginia versus whoever they're playing was the number 1 most likely upset, but the number 3 was Miami Hurricanes versus Drake. They got Drake as being a 31% probability of winning.
Dangerous team.
We'll see what
we got the word on that from one of our analysts that we have on, mostly on our Believe podcast, but we had him on an extended version of our morning show. This guy, Scott Spinelli, he sounds very, very, astute when it comes to this sort of thing. And we have others that are very good also. We'll have Mark Lawrence giving a handicapping edge on Friday and a professor. But he was all over Drake. This was before the draw. And Miami seems to be, at a little bit of an impasse right now in terms of their overall play. Plus, one of their key players is injured. So, Drake, you have to look to the 5 versus 12 for the, your first upset should be somewhere in that category,
in that neighborhood.
And,
right?
So it's a dangerous spot for Miami, no doubt about it.
All right, and so again, for the Seinfeld fans, there are people who love the Drake, and then people who hate the Drake. No, not Drake's cakes.
What did you think of Drake's cakes? That's what I think of.
Love the Drake's cakes. Love the ring dings and the yodels. Hey, it's time we got to talk about our other visit this week tomorrow with Neki Mohan. Visit Lauderdale. We're going to be doing one of our twice monthly visits to everyone under the sun, every dish under the sun, everywhere, everything, all at once. And we're going to El Guanaco to celebrate Women's Month, Women's History Month. We're going to be doing some Mexican Salvadoran cuisine. Really cute place there on Prospect Road in Oakland Park. And we'll be there with Neki from 12 to 1 tomorrow. But it's all part of Greater Fort Lauderdale welcoming everyone under the sun. That means all you foodies out there, the culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados. Defo is one of those now. He's got those fancy beers.
Like I said, I mean, I have great respect for these people because of the, the time and the effort that they put into it and all the studying they do. And they risk their entire, net worth to get these places open. And, there's no guarantee anybody's going to show up. And there are quite a few of them. But these beers that he had canned and ready for sale were really, really good. Well-crafted beers.
In Greater Fort Lauderdale, we got we got Lauder Ale in Fort Lauderdale. We've got Kaufner in Fort Lauderdale. We've got Invasive Species in Fort Lauderdale. In my neck of the woods, there's Three Sons in Dania Beach.
Yeah, there's 26 Degrees place here on Atlantic.
That's near Defo. No shortage. And that's all part of the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail that you could check out, along with hidden speakeasies, rooftop bars, expert mixologists. It's spring break. I guess we're talking more about the booze.
Oh, my God. Is Lauderdale by the Sea jamming, Mike Mayo? And you should. It's like a bikini contest out there. It's fantastic.
It's like the old days, except without the wet T-shirts or the bananas.
Which I miss. I greatly miss that. I mean, even though you would say it was, not necessarily the greatest thing in terms of respecting women, but the wet T-shirt contest I thought were brilliant.
We've moved beyond that.
What was the place? Bootleggers. Bootleggers always
Well,
have.
there was the Button, and there was Bootleggers, and there was all those places that Dan Santoro loves to reminisce about. But we have moved into a new phase for Visit Lauderdale. We're more of the. I mean,
objectifying women is not necessarily a thing that we would be condoning. Is that what you're saying?
Especially not during International Women's Month.
Yeah, so, it'd be probably a bad time. Very incongruous.
It's interesting because when I was growing up, spring break, because of the 70s and 80s, they had like shunned it. It's cool that it's coming back down here. And what's interesting, and in Even Keel, they were talking about it, the spring breakers are a lot different than when I was a spring breaker.
Oh, no, they're sophisticates now. They will go to some of these restaurants like Even Keel and like the Catherine. And
they're not going to oil wrestle for their $25 tab at the bar.
They actually want to come and partake of all the good stuff, the good stuff that brings all the tourists.
That's why they tune into the Lunchbox to see what's going on there.
4,000 area restaurants. And next month, after spring break dies down, then we've got the Tortuga Festival coming up. A lot of people be coming up, country music, but a whole variety. Sheryl Crow, I think, is the headliner this year. That's going to be packing the hotels and the restaurants. Again, for all the latest info, whether it's food, drink, or fun, go to visitlauderdale.com. visitlauderdale.com, and we'll see you and Nikki Mohan tomorrow at El Guanaco in Oakland Park.
Always great having a superstar like Nikki Mohan on the shows. I think it tends to smooth things out and kind of ground the program a little bit, where we have a tendency to grind it to a halt. But we're coming back with more with Mike Mayo on the Lunchbox here in a moment.
Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox. I can't believe the hour is almost gone. I do have to put in the good word for my friends, the Studiali family at Tropical Acres. It's a Tropical Acres Monday. There is no finer time.
That picture gained a lot of steam, that picture of you.
Oh,
did that go viral? A picture of you spotted at Tropical Acres?
It did. It was over 30,000.
It was like the back of your head, too, and everybody recognized you. It's amazing.
I was in there last week with my man, Dick Steen. I had a tremendous filet mignon.
He's your man now? I mean, the other day you just absolutely...
He just ordered weird.
It's lambasting the man.
food
You ordered
is
one.
subjective, but we went in there before he went to the casino, and it's the perfect spot to stop in before one of the
Yep.
shows at the Hard Rock, 2500 Griffin Road. And I go in there from time to time. Last week, I happened to be there on a Wednesday. I was not drinking that night, but I did have a delicious steak and some cream spinach, and met some Let's Eat South Florida fans who were there, and they snapped a picture while I was walking in. And I said, they told me they took the picture and can they post it? I said, sure. I didn't even approve it. It ended up being Gretchen, our friend Gretchen, approved the post, and people went wild, I guess, again, because it was pretty funny. The way it was captioned is Michael Mayo in his natural habitat. And it's
That is
true.
you. It's
Tropical
you.
Acres
Yeah.
is my natural habitat because I feel like, just like, yeah, like I am comfortable there because especially on a Monday and Tuesday when you get half price wine, or any night where you go any weeknight, Monday through Friday in the bars, happy hour, you get half price drinks and all those good light bites for like $6. You can't beat that value. And then you go into the dining room and get yourself a nice meal. Again, all the entrees come with salads and side dishes. 2500 Griffin Road, tropicalacres.com. They're open every day but Sunday. And they also have a butcher shop if you want to bring some of those fine steaks home to grill yourself. Tropical Acres, we'll see you out there. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
And stay tuned, stand by, because you said it. I was going to ask, but you said in the coming months, they'll bring back the deal of all deals, the twin lobster special, which is freaking amazing.
Twin Maine lobsters, steamed, live Maine lobsters, steamed fresh. Going to be usually right after Easter. He gets it rolling and gets those Maine lobsters coming in. So that's good. Hey, two quick things before we get out of here for the day. Number one, I'm looking forward to tonight. My metabolic feast continues. I'm going to be checking out the new South restaurant that's coming to us
nice.
from Warren Thompson and Mike Linder. The people that now own Canyon, but Mike also has Yacht and Jet. Well, this one,
I've been to Yacht. Very, very, a cool place to go.
Yeah,
and very nicely done.
So this is like Southern food, but upscale, right?
Yeah. Upscale Southern food in the heart of Pompano Beach. It's not along the coast.
Oh, yeah?
It's actually near the railroad tracks. It's on just off Atlantic in that little area. I think just by Dixie.
Oh, that's been redeveloped. You mentioned, and they have one of those breweries also, the custom breweries, and they're renovating that area, and they celebrate it every month with like a concert.
Yeah.
And so they have a thing like the first Friday of every month, I believe it is. And so I've frequented the area there, and it looks like they're really trying their best to make that kind of like 33rd Street is in Fort Lauderdale also, but with a lot of nice restaurants and different things to do. So that's going real upscale. Yeah.
So that South restaurant is getting ready to open, I believe, later this week. It should be opened either on Wednesday or Thursday to the general public, but they're having a little preview dinner tonight. It was nice enough to be invited, and it's billed as 6 courses, 7 wines, 1 cigar. I'm going to be forsaking the cigar. Maybe just have a sip of each of the wines. But
I think you should go full bore there. Lubie and I are going to meet Tony Segreto, believe it or not.
Nice.
And Ed Garcia, the regional manager of Texas Roadhouse at the Miramar Texas Roadhouse restaurant. And I'm looking forward to it because I can't remember the last time I've dined there. I know you had a mixed bag of reviews of your trip there with your daughter.
That bread, it's warm. That bread is fantastic.
I'm going to eat a roll on the way to the table. Is that cool? I mean, because they bring the basket with you. I'm just going to take one on the way to the table.
No, Texas Roadhouse does what it does very well. And again, you're talking about good value. It's definitely for people who
looking forward to it. Yeah, very much.
Good quality piece of meat at very reasonable.
Very reasonable. That's the thing you got.
I wanted to get to. We're out of time, but I mentioned this place, Peach Cobbler Factory. Did you hear about it or read about it? It's in Pembroke Pines. Okay, it's a bizarre thing, but I went there last week with my poker buddy Willie and his girlfriend, and that was his second visit of the day. He is into this place. Wow. The Sentinel wrote a story about it. Apparently, they're going to be everywhere soon. This guy, the concept came out of a Nashville, Tennessee food truck. Now some other people bought the franchise, the whole rights to it and the concept, and they're going to be opening like 30 of them around South Florida or Florida. And it's, remember back in the day, somebody said High Lie is going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently these people, I'm a little dubious because like Peach Cobbler, but it's actually it's a dessert place that is going to be, they basically have 12 different kinds of cobbler. It's not just peach. I got an apple caramel cobbler. It comes with a little dish of ice cream, vanilla ice cream on the side. And then they have a whole section of banana pudding with different flavors. And I tried one of those. I got a bourbon pecan banana pudding.
Oh, that's nice.
But the menu board there is interesting because it's basically a stoner's delight, and they're going to be open till 2 a.m. eventually. So you know how all these cookie shops.
There's a chance they might succeed then, Michael.
Yeah,
in Florida.
All these cookie shops started opening everywhere, and now there's like Batch, or actually now it's called Blueprint. And then there's Crumble, and then there's Midnight Owl, and then there's Midnight whatever. So like this, in the same vein, these guys think, to satisfy the sweet tooth, that there's peach cobblers and cobbler variations and banana puddings, and then they're going to do some frozen mixed drinks of like blending up the cobblers, or it's craziness. But I went in there. I was, it's $9 for each of these things, so it's on the high end of the days of the $1 ice cream cones are gone. But I wish him luck, and my friend Willie turned me on to it, and I went in there and I liked it. So I wish him well. And for people who are in that area, right near the Perry Airport, if a plane doesn't crash into you, right there on that corner of University Drive and Pines Boulevard, it's on the northwest corner in that shopping plaza. Peach Cobbler Factory, the first of what may be many. If you have a sweet tooth, check it out. I kind of liked it. So that's it.
All right.
I like peach cobbler. That's interesting.
All right, go eat something, Michael. Get some energy, and we'll have our reviews tomorrow of the various places we're attending tonight.
Will you chime in the first segment on the
whatever you guys need? Yeah, because the Nicky Mohan show, I'm kind of off on the sidelines there, so the schlep is probably not something that I'm inclined to do. But I'll definitely come on board if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. Well, we're going to be at El Guanaco tomorrow with Nicky Mohan.
Yes.
And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Congrats again to Sharon Driggers. You're the winner of the 10 Palms contest.
Congrats.
Well done with picking that relative mid-long shot horse, Colorado Vaquereza, restaurateur, horse trainer. Who, come on. That's it. It's a perfect angle for the lunchbox. All right. I'm going to try to be healthy and not eat so much today. And Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is now the story of my eating life. And we're going to have to go out and check out that newly minted Best Picture Academy Award winner. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Defo DeForest, this is Mike. Stuff his face everywhere all at once. Mayo saying, have a great day and enjoy every sandwich.